We are here with Greg Johnson and Michael Rowley of the Metallic Minerals Group. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Very well, thanks. Glad to be here.
Well, hey, it's a pleasure having you on. So some of our viewers from the Follow the Money Investor Group, they're well aware of Greg Johnson. We've had a few pieces with him. So if you are interested after this, we've got 2 or 3 different webinars with Greg at FTMIG.com. You can go by there and find a little bit more about their companies after this as well. But gentlemen, it's in the thick of the drilling season. How's everything going right now, and where are you at for both companies so far this year?
Well, it is an exciting time for Canadian exploration companies. We've been out, most companies in the field, collecting their data, targeting results are starting to flow in, this month and the next several months. It's a great time to be looking at things. Often there's lots of flow, and our projects are no exception to that.
No, I'm glad to hear. And although they are different companies, but they share a lot of the management, we also have Michael Rowley here of Group 10 Metals. What have you guys been up to in the last little while?
Excellent field season down in Stillwater in particular, which is our flagship, of course, the Stillwater District of Montana. We've also done programs in the Yukon and Ontario. Stillwater, very much the focus. The team is still active there. We're excited about what we found. I guess the center point to that is 12,000 meters of historic core that we have in our possession that we've now completed relogging, and that plus the mapping and prospecting efforts from the year across this 25 kilometer wide claim block. We're excited about that and the news flow that will follow in the next weeks and months.
Yeah, and we started seeing that finally. We started seeing a lot of different essays coming out, whether it be one of the big ones people are talking about is Garibaldi, Nickel Mountain. We've got a lot of the Golden Triangle, and a lot of gold players are starting to come up with their first assays of the year, and people are excited about it. Are we near that for either one of yourselves? I know you can't tell me the exact dates, but are we getting close?
Yeah, we've been in the field starting in June, and basically you build up your initial work. You start to get those assays going to the lab. So I think last year is a good example of what you can expect from Metallic Minerals in terms of our silver exploration up in the historic Keno silver. Basically, for the next couple of months, all the way probably until January, a continuous series of news.
Hey, and I can't wait to start hearing about it. I know you guys have been, every time I talk to you, you're flying one place, you're at another convention. It's exciting times for it. And switching back over to you, Michael, for Group 10 Metals. What have you been up to the next little while, and are we expecting assays to start coming out now, maybe next month, or in the very near future?
Give us a couple of weeks for the first batch. We have some of them in already, but they will be coming in over the subsequent months. The drill stuff we have to get into a 3D model, right? And we have to work all that up. So that's a bit more of an effort. That'll be over the coming months. But that model and us working towards a mineral inventory there, those are key developments for later this year, and we're very excited.
Yeah, and I said Metallic Group, and because there were 2 companies that we've spoken about, both of you being at the helms of one and then the other. But there's another company. This was just announced. I forget the convention's name, forgive me, but just like last week, Greg, you were speaking. Michael, can you let us know a little bit more about the copper company that you guys are, I don't know if it's a spin-off or just another part of your group that you guys are going to be doing as of right now, actually. I think it's already started. It's active.
Yeah, it's basically, its name is Granite Creek. It's currently Granite Creek Gold. We're going to rebrand it Granite Creek Copper. It is the 3rd company in the Metallic Group. If you look at our track record, we've basically done one company per year. Metallic in 2016, Group 10 2017, and now Granite 2018. Ticker is GCX.H. There was an announcement, I believe September 14th, where we laid out the terms of this reactivation and this acquisition. Very attractive copper project in the central Yukon. Company currently has 2.9 million shares outstanding. It's a reactivation. There's a process involved with a placement and the property, bring these things together and get back to the TSX venture and trading. The asset is brilliant. It follows very much what the other two companies have done. Metallic Minerals, of course, in the Keno district, applying these Coeur d'Alene billion-ounce silver district thinking, and then Group 10 in Stillwater, applying this Platte Reef model.
Yeah.
We'll be doing the same at Granite in terms of applying the work done by its neighbors, the producing copper mine to the north and the resource stage property to the south, to the Stu project, which we're acquiring in the middle of those two.
Yeah, and speaking of the people next to you, there's a massive open pit right beside you guys. Is that true?
Yeah, the Minto copper mine to the north. In fact, it's producing copper mine. It's currently owned by Capstone, just now being purchased by Pembridge, a group out of the UK. That's an exciting development for the district. And yeah, at one point it was the highest grade producing copper mine in North America.
Oh, wow.
And it's still an excellent mine. Yeah, good project.
Yeah, and speaking to Greg, the video I was talking about earlier when we were talking probably a few weeks ago now, what do you look for in a mining company? You know, you want to make sure you have a great land package, or were there past results, are there roads? You know, there's a lot of different things you think of, but one of the bigger ones was, are you in somewhere or near somewhere that has past success? And it sounds like your copper mine right now is actually right next to one, like you said. At one point, it was it had the most production of any copper mine in North America. I mean, that's elephant country. I'm using your term here. We're back in elephant country when you're starting to look for this.
Yeah, no, all three of the metallic group companies share that same business strategy. We've got brownfields exploration potential. We've got past producing mines that have been discovered and developed, and we've got operating high-grade mines. And so what this does, Brandon, is this basically allows us to have confidence in the ability to discover new deposits and to advance those towards production much more quickly than you could on a standalone opportunities.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And Mike, I think you were saying, are we able to be a part of this? Like, am I able to invest in this copper play, or are the viewers able to invest? Is there any way we can get a part of that, or do we have to wait a few more weeks? Or are you there yet?
Yeah, basically keep in touch. The placement has been announced as part of that September 14th news release, and your viewers are certainly invited to take a look at that and reach out to us. We'd be glad to discuss further what we're working on for all three companies.
Yeah, no, and that's exciting too, because we keep telling people, I know Carl, the both of you met Carl actually, spoken to him many times. What we've been really pounding the table on recently is finding opportunities early. I mean, if you look at the mining space or the cannabis space, both speculative spaces, and both have had a lot of ups and downs the last while. You know, when you're looking at those ones, so many people are so used to instant gratification, you know, or at least now they are, where you go and you get into a stock, and if it doesn't go up by 30% in a week, you're like, oh, what's this company doing? They're not. It's not normal. That's not how stocks usually work. But we keep telling people, get into companies early, get them closer to ground floor, because that's where, one, you have a lot less downside, especially with like what you're saying, like an RTO, like starting a company right from the beginning. But also, it's going to take more time. You hold on to those plays, but they have the potential of being 2, 3, 4, 5 baggers if you guys are able to find what you're looking for and you're able to be patient throughout it. So we keep telling people, look for private placements, look for these things to get into early, and it's that's why we wanted to bring this up as well, because it's something that's very interesting, something to look into, and it sounds like they can reach out to you and get a little bit more information on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think the focus that we've got here with metallic companies, as you said, is a long-term focus. Sure, there could be near-term changes in the metal prices, exciting exploration results, but really it's about investing with a team, understanding that they've got an experience to be able to do them and to make those discoveries. These happen, right? But if you've got and you've got a real systematic approach to exploration, which is what we're doing on all three. We're confident have success. We think is an interest of the metallic group is that we've got three major metals: gold and metallic minerals, platinum and nickel, and now copper. Granite Creek Copper is the new company that we've just.
Absolutely. And Greg, I know we had to switch to your cell phone last moment there, so there is a little bit of a cutting out in volume, so forgive us for that there. But on your point of having those numerous metals, that's interesting because a lot of people, it's almost like you're hedging your bet with all these different metals. But copper specifically, I know when I was looking into this over the last few years, copper is going through a massive shortage over the next 1 to 3 years. I think it's already started as well. And clearly we use copper in so many different things, from housing to batteries to all the different electrical cars. It's everywhere. It's interesting because over the last few years, to my knowledge, not many mines have started producing, like new mines have started producing. So it seems like it's a perfect time to get into companies where, you know, if there's a scarcity, if the supply of copper is going down, usually the invisible hand of the market usually pushes that price upwards. That's the time you want to be able to get into early companies. If you think that in the next few years the price of copper is going to be rising, that's where you can really start getting a nice appreciation, both on the company that you guys are creating and working on, but as a shareholder. Obviously, if you've got, you know, X amount of grams of copper, whatever it be in the ground, if it's worth $10 today or if it's worth $30 tomorrow, clearly you're now 3 times more valuable as a company. It's interesting because I do believe it's that way. Michael, can you go on a little bit more on the copper play, but more so, where do you see copper? Is what I'm saying, am I on the right track there with where we think copper is going to be on a grand scale?
Absolutely. Yep. Definitely. Copper is a technology metal. It's right at the heart of technology, as you mentioned. And we see a bright future for it. In terms of the project, this is not only very good ground, highly prospective based on its neighbors, the neighborhood, all that, which we already discussed. It's also the fact that the property has been private for decades, literally. And so we're the first to bring this back into a public vehicle, bring all the data together, look to the developments to the north, to the south, and then quickly advance this to a resource delineation stage, which is, of course, our model. If you look at our materials, we've got that great slide that shows the stages of valuation in mineral and mining projects. And this is that early beginning where you get that quick ramp up in value and multiples created in terms of value add. Yeah. Basically by working up what's already there in plain sight. There is copper there is gold there. We know that. We have these historic data. There's, I believe, 15 historic drill holes on this one. We can work all that up and hit the ground nicely and really build something, add some value.
Hey, exactly what I want to hear if I'm going to a company. And you were talking about a slide both on your website and on FTMIG.com. We've got Group 10 metals and metallic minerals as featured companies on there. You can go and you can see, you can click on that. They've got your investor presentations, and it's really knowledgeable there, actually. There's a lot of information there where you can see the different cycles that metals take. You can see where we are now and where we believe or where we're projected to be going in the next little while. So if you are more curious about that, please go over to the website, check that out. You can learn a little bit more. There's also some videos, like I said, with Greg Johnson. Although we've been having a little bit of issues with the audio, that man can certainly speak, and the knowledge that comes from him, I've really appreciated knowing you over the last little while. We do have some good videos with that as well. But this won't be the last of you guys here. I'd love to get us doing a nice little podcast in the next little while. We can go a little bit more in depth into each one of these companies because it's intriguing to myself as an investor in the 2 companies, hopefully soon to be the 3 companies. But it's just intriguing as well as we learn this mining exploration sector as we continue to grow. So I appreciate your guys' time very much and look forward to being able to have you guys on again very soon.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure to be back again.
Absolutely, guys. Look forward to hearing the results the next little while. We'll take care and we'll talk to you soon.